that the public meeting is dead, the public aren't interested. The fact you packed this venue tonight shows that you care and you are interested, and we must thank Richard Drax, the local MP, for putting this event on. Probably the last nice thing I'm going to say about any elected Conservative I've been on this kick now for over 20 years. I worked in business, I had a proper job, unlike Cameron and Osborne, and getting the whole front bed. You know what I'm talking about? The college kids who go from Oxford to the research office, become chancellors and prime ministers, and have never done a proper day's work in their lives, and have got no idea. So I got involved in this for one very simple reason. I believe that those that went before us, those generations that went before us, gave, and in many cases sacrificed, everything they had so that we and the rest of Europe could be free nation-state democracies, and I was not prepared to stand by. So I've campaigned for 20 years. I've stood in by-elections, general elections, European elections, and indeed in my first ever election, in the Eastleigh by-election over 20 years ago, I managed, by the clear, thumping margin of 164 clear votes, to beat the late, great, screaming Lord Sutch. I've been called many things over the years. Mad and bad and dangerous and crank and gadfly and worse. And my favourite, of course, fruitcake. I'm very, very happy with that. And I did worry for many years that I might become the patron saint of lost causes. But no, something is happening, isn't it? And on this platform tonight, we have a senior businessman from Wetherspoon's pub chain. Tim, I'm one of your best customers. And we have Kate from Labour, and we have our local Conservative MP. Do not let anybody in the press or elsewhere tell you that this issue of whether we govern our own nation or not is a left-wing or a right-wing issue. It is neither of those things. This is not about left and right, it's about right and wrong. And it's right. So the battle lines are drawn, and they're clear. On the Remain side, or should we, for the sake of this conversation, call them the Remainians? It always seems to get me into terrible trouble. I can't think. But on the Remain side, what do we have? We have the giant multinational businesses, like Siemens Engineering, telling us we must stay part of this European political club. We have Goldman Sachs. We have the man I was debating with last night, Lord Mandelson. God. Oh, there's more to come. We've got Nick Clegg. We've got Tony Blair. And we've got a Prime Minister who appears to be incapable of telling the truth or running a full, free and fair referendum campaign. And what they are trying to do is they are trying to threaten us. They're trying to bully us. They're trying to tell us that without being part of this structure, without being part of a union that has a flag and an anthem and is run by a bunch of unelected old men, but they're telling us unless we were part of this structure that all trade would cease. That's the argument, isn't it? The argument is millions of jobs at risk. The argument is we'd lose billions of pounds of income. Can I just explain this to you? Trade is not made by politicians. Trade is not made by bureaucrats. If we like German motor cars, we will go on buying them. If we like French wine, I will go on buying it. And this idea that without the EU we would not be doing business is fallacious. We're told we're not capable of making our own trade deals. I first saw this when I debated head-to-head in 2014, 2 one-hour televised debates against Nick Clegg. And there was a point in the debate when Clegg said, "We are not big enough as a country. We are not strong enough as a nation to be able to negotiate trade deals on the global stage. We have to be part of a bigger European club." And I said, "Nick, we are big enough." I said, "We're a country of 65 million people." Well, of course, I was underestimating a bit, wasn't I, really? Well, when you have open borders, how would you know? I said, "Nick, we're a country of 65 million people." I said, "Iceland, who've got a third of a million population, have just negotiated their own trade deal with China." I said, "I'm damn certain that if they're big enough and strong enough to stand on their own 2 feet, then we're big enough and strong enough to stand on our own 2 feet." And then it hit me. It hit me what he was really saying was not that we weren't big enough, was not that we weren't strong enough. I said, "Nick, you just don't think we're good enough, do you?" And isn't that the point? Isn't that what they're all saying? They're talking down Britain. We're not good enough to make our own laws in our own parliament. We're not good enough to make our own trade policy. We're not good enough to stand on our own 2 feet. In fact, Cameron even said it might take us 10 years to renegotiate trade deals. But what are they employing in Whitehall? Cretins? Ever since Suez, the political class in this country have collectively lost faith in who you are as a people and in who we are as a nation. And I stand here before you unashamedly proud and patriotic to be British, and I say this to you. With all the arguments about uncertainty or certainty, whether we stay in or whether we leave this European Union, there is one absolute certainty, and it's this. If we vote to leave this European Union, we become, once again, an independent, self-governing, democratic nation, and we will be the masters of our own destiny. And I believe we will do that better than anybody in the European Union. You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.